funny thing about anger. Let it consume you soon enough. Lose sight of everything.
Hello everyone, I'm back and we are doing something different today. This is the first episode in a new series I'm working on. We're going all over the place on this channel again. It's great, it's weird. I hope this one picks up because this one could be really fun and we could go to a lot of interesting places. So what this is the best of 3. Like in a game of sport, when they have 3 games, you know, you play 2 games, somebody wins. But that's not how we're doing this. The best of 3 is that's like a concept, an idea, a topic, and I give the best 3 reasons for that topic. That's what we're going to do. It could be fun. There's top 10s, there's top 5s. This one, we're just going to do the best 3 things about it. And it could be anything in pop culture, from film, movies, comic books, just films and movies are the same thing. Television, anything like that. Just what you guys want to hear, I want to talk about it. Talk about these things I like and I'm passionate about. And give 3 reasons why I think they're great and they're fun. So to start off this show, I wanted to do something that I wanted to talk about for a long time. That is this movie, but I wanted to talk about a certain concept about this movie. That's not what this concept is. This one was something that when I was originally working on talking about this movie, and it is TMNT, the 2007 Ninja Turtles movie that came out, this CGI animation movie with like great voice actors doing the characters. Patrick Stewart was the bad guy. This was a great movie. Regardless of what you think, I think it's one of the best Ninja Turtle movies of all time. And I think it's one of the best interpretations of a certain character we've seen ever. And that character is Leonardo. Leonardo, the lead turtle, the boy in blue, the sword-wielding boy. You know him. You love him. He's probably the favorite Ninja Turtle to a lot of people, probably more so than any of the other ones. He's not my favorite. I'm not upset to say that. I love Leonardo. I love all of the Ninja Turtles. I love their whole world. I love the side characters. I love everyone. Leonardo was not the one I gravitated to. I gravitated to Donatello. Donatello's still my favorite Ninja Turtle, and Raphael behind him. I don't know why. Those are just the 2 I liked, because it was the hot-headed guy, the smart guy who was kind of underappreciated. But Leonardo, this is his movie. TMNT is his movie. And what I wanted to talk about was why, give my 3 reasons, the best of 3, the best 3 reasons why TMNT is the best interpretation of Leonardo we've seen on film. Now, you could go back to the 90s. There's a lot of good stuff in the original movie with him. Secret of the Ooze is a whole other thing. But this story is incredible. And the way they use Leonardo in this is the first time I really appreciated what his role is in this family. I've watched all the cartoons. He's the leader. Without them, they fall apart. But in this movie, you see why they fall apart. And I think that is an important thing to show. So my reason number 1 is without Leonardo, the family falls apart. They really do. Leonardo goes away and he's trying to train more. Splinter says he should go to some jungle in the Amazon, was it? I can't remember that part, what jungle it was. But he goes away, and without him, he doesn't come back for a year. And the family starts to fall apart. There's no communication. Nobody talks to each other anymore. Michelangelo has to get a job. Donatello has to get a job. Raphael just sleeps all day. Nobody knows what he does. Casey and April, they have their own issues going on. I'm not going to say that's directly related to Leonardo, but I do think his absence takes away this emotional core to them. Without Leonardo, they don't help each other. Because without Raph and Leo's little banter going back and forth, nobody's going to push Raphael to be better. And without that, Michelangelo, no one's going to keep an eye on him or do any of those things. I think without Leonardo, Donatello is the one that does the best because he goes into his own world and he finds what he's good at, and that's what he starts to do. But without Leonardo, there's no push to train or be better than what you are. They just sink into their own world and get lost in them, and they can't find each other anymore. Leonardo is the emotional core of this family. He's the reason they all stay together, and this movie depicts what that means. Because when he's gone, nobody sees each other, nobody is there for each other. The brothers fall apart, and they're still young, and they're still trying to figure out their lives and get these things together, and that's part of growing up too. And that's another big thing with this movie, is that they're growing up, they're learning, they need each other more than they think. And I love that aspect of Leonardo when he finally comes home after meeting April, and he's like, Without you, they have fallen apart. They're not a family. They're not a team. They're not brothers. They are alone and lost, and they need you. And as somebody who isn't a big fan of Leonardo, I was kind of, the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, okay, you're saying without Leonardo they can't function? And now that I've seen it a lot of times and I understand what the story is trying to say, they can't. Leonardo is their leader. I'm not saying they can't be fine without their leader, but you see the worlds they sink into, and they're not good. They're not ninjas. They're not brothers. They are lost and alone. And that is a good aspect to Leonardo's story, realizing he can't be selfish, and he needs to go back to help his brothers and his father and his friends and to be a part of there for them. He is the core of the universe. You know, Michelangelo may be the heart. Donatello's the brains. Raph's the muscle. But the core, the emotion, it all comes from Leonardo because he's the one that we see, lead, take on the full responsibility, and when he leaves them, it is hard to see. Leonardo is the important part of this movie, and you see why he's important to the team in this movie. It's a great part of his story. So, the best of three. Number 2, everyone. Going directly into what we just talked about is he abandons them. That might not seem like a big deal to some casual viewers, but if you grew up, you watched all the cartoons, you watched the movies, they are a team. They are 4 brothers. They are a team. They do things together. Master Splinter sends him away for more training. He goes, he does it because it's his father telling him to do that. He loves Splinter. He trusts Splinter. That's an exciting thing to see. But he overstays his welcome in the Amazon. I'm just going to call it the Amazon. He overstays his welcome. He's there longer than he's supposed to be because he's afraid to go back. He feels like he's failed his father and his brothers if he goes back without getting the training he deserves. The whole opening of this movie is Leonardo. April goes to find him while she's looking for these relics, and she sees where Leonardo is, and he's the ghost of the jungle. I absolutely love this. So one of the things I want to see more in Ninja Turtles is them expanding their world and kind of growing up and going into these different places across the world, doing different things to fight people. I really want to see that, and I really liked it in this movie because you see this man, okay, he's not a man. You see this kid who is still in his teenage years, and he's learning how to be a better leader to help his family. They all are expecting him to be nothing but great and good and amazing, and he can't live up to what they're trying to make him to be. And he's afraid and he's scared he's going to disappoint them if he goes home. We haven't seen that kind of development or thinking of Leonardo in any other material. Some of the cartoons can delve into it when he goes to attack the Shredder alone, or even in IDW when he gets his mind corrupt. There's some great stuff in there. But this is him feeling he's failed on an emotional level, not physically. He didn't get destroyed physically or beaten. He feels he didn't get the proper training his father sent him to do. He can't go home and disappoint them and potentially cause an issue later on with his team. That is some very good depth to a character and something amazing. And it takes him seeing his old friend in April to actually realize, no, he needs to go back because they need him. Leonardo would have stayed there and abandoned them. He would have felt the guilt of not seeing them again, but he would have stayed there if April didn't see him because he didn't want to give them disappointment. It's a great part of Leonardo's character. And it's a great understanding of something we don't see a lot in is that Leo does not want to disappoint his family. It's probably a big thing for him that we haven't explored in a lot of other issues or anything, where he's afraid that they're going to see him as something he's not, and that he has to be the leader, so he has to be a certain way. And he abandons them. You might say he doesn't go back because he's scared, but he is abandoning them. And that's what he's doing there. And it's great. It's intense. And you understand Leo is afraid of what could happen if he goes back. I think it's a great way to show this movie we set up. This is a very mature movie for Ninja Turtles. Some of the villains, the 3,000 years, the monsters, that's stupid. But the thing it delves in with the Turtles is some of my favorite things to delve in with the Turtles. Mikey, Don, they're underused. But what happens if Leonardo in this movie? I'm telling you, it's some of the best Leonardo stuff we've ever seen. And this is just the other reason, one of the other reasons. He is the emotional core of his family. Without him, they are lost and alone. And that fact scares him, and he abandons them. so he can't disappoint them later on. That is such a great story. And my third reason, the best reason, number 3, that Leonardo has the best story ever for his character in this movie is the fight he has on the roof with Raphael. Okay, Raphael is a great character, and I would have done this episode based on him too. And you know what? Maybe even later down, I will do this episode on him and talk about why it's a great story for Raphael, because I think this is equal parts Raph and Leo's story. Why this fight was so good is you see the conflicting sides of both of them. Leonardo doesn't like the idea of this vigilante going out there and hurting criminals and doing these things. He feels like he's above the law. And then Raph is kind of on the opposite side. That's what we did too. We were above the law. You can't come back into my life and tell me what to do, and I'm not going to take your orders. And when they finally go head to head, you see the intensity and the veracity and the emotion that these two have been feeling towards each other probably since their childhood up until now. Raph does not like being bossed around by Leo because it's kind of like Batman v Superman. I know that's kind of different, but Leonardo's the Boy Scout. He's the guy who doesn't want to disappoint anybody. He's all about this big ideas and philosophies, and he's so important. And Raphael's angry and he's upset, and he's saying, no, you are doing it wrong. The way I'm doing it, these people don't come back. They don't get locked up. They are gone. And he doesn't kill them, but they're taken away. Anyway, this was probably one of my favorite scenes in any Ninja Turtle anything, because you're taking years of the kind of resentment towards Leo and Raphael and kind of this like angrily shoving away Raphael's ideas and sarcastic remarks and his everything about him in Leonardo, and they're finally going head to head, and they are fighting, they are clashing. Raphael, he's in the Night Watcher costume, and Leo punches it off his head, and he sees it's Raph, and he's like, why are you doing this? Why are we like this? And then you see they still fight, and Raphael wins in the end. Now, you guys can interpret this however you want. However you want to interpret it. I interpret it as Leonardo could win. Leonardo should win, and he would have won. He let Raph win. He let him win because he knows this is what his brother needs. And that's why he needs Leo, to push him, to keep him going. That might be a big leap. I don't know. But if you just watch that fight scene, and just that fight scene, you are going to understand what I'm talking about. Because you are seeing the emotion from both these guys come out at each other, and you are realizing that Leo knows he has to let Raph win, even if that means he's going to fake it and just keep trying his best. Because I think Leo could win. He's been training more. He's been in this different world. He deserved to win. But you see Raph, he is scary and intense, and he just is so angry, and all of that comes out, and Leo just has to let him dish it out so he can feel good about himself. TMNT 2007. Is it the best Ninja Turtle movie out there? It's not. Not even close, but there hasn't been a lot of good ones, let's be real. But what it does is it takes these characters we know and we love and we respect and we care about, and it takes them into a situation where they have to come back together. The entirety we've seen them, they have been brothers and working together, and they have great chemistry and all these things. But in this movie, that's broken, and they have to come back together in order to help each other. It's one of the most mature Ninja Turtle stories I think have been out there in terms of motion pictures or any of that stuff. It's a great concept, and it is the best use of Leonardo we have seen in any movie. He is the emotional core who holds them together, and that scares him, and he abandons them. He lets his brother beat him in a fight because he knows he needs Raphael to see him as his brother again. This is Leonardo's story, and it is perfect for his character. This movie, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you have watched it, go back and rewatch it and look for all these things that Leonardo does to bring his brothers back together and to let himself be the leader he's meant to be. He needs to be in charge. It's an important thing. And, you know, there's just something about it that's so inspirational and powerful about Leonardo's character in this movie that I think everyone should go back and just check out. This is a great movie. This has been the best of 3 reasons Leonardo has the best story in TMNT. So thank you guys for listening. If you want to see more Ninja Turtle best of 3s, let me know. What kind of best of 3s do you guys want me to see? Because I really wanted to do this for a while now, and I'm glad I'm finally doing it. So let me know, guys. I'll catch you on the next episode. Good luck.